Hey y'all!
What up? What up?
It's Blenmore with the oars.
With the oars.
With the oars. Oh my god.
I'm your boy Trey.
I'm your girl Jazz, and we are talking about this Russell Wilson and
It's Blended
Ciara.
Mondays though.
It is Blended Mondays.
Blended Mondays.
And they have blended
She
family.
forgot.
It's Blended Mondays.
So our topic today is about Russell Wilson and Ciara's GQ interview
Yes.
that they had. Now I didn't see the whole interview. To be honest, she did. So it's kind of a topic she brought up, but I did kind of go over and read some of the things that they talked about in there. And man, she also told me about some men and people kind of talking negative, I guess, towards
So let's get into the comment first. So first off, we all know that Ciara and Russell Williams, they're a blended family.
Russell Wilson. You said Williams. Yeah. Wilson.
I can't say
Shout
my
out to
last
Russell
name
Wilson and Ciara.
or their last name. My apologies. So anyhow, they are a blended family of 5. Ciara has a child with her ex Future, and then her and Russell have 2 children together, a daughter and then a son. Wynn. So Sienna and Wynn. So anyways, a little known fact, Ciara and I went to high school together. Riverdale in Clayton County. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. This interview. So the interview was a really great interview, but one thing that kind of gained some traction was a comment that Russell made in regards to Ciara and his fear. I'm going to read the full quote to you guys, that way we are on topic and we understand exactly what we're talking about today.
Yes.
Okay, so he says, somebody asked me the other day, what's your greatest fear? I said, losing her, because she means everything to me. It's one of those things that in life, somebody's not going to be here, this or that. And I think the reality is that I cherish every day with her because the days are numbered. We don't know the number, but the days are numbered. And I want to maximize each number. I want to maximize each moment, and she's worth maximizing each moment, each day. Okay, so apparently men...
Sound like a great, response to me.
Yeah.
Kind of similar to, she asked me that same question.
So after reading this, right, he didn't know nothing about this. He's not big on social media. So I just, out of curiosity, I was like, babe, what is one of your biggest fears? What like, just when you think about your entire life, what's one of your biggest fears? And I was shocked by his response. What'd you say, babe?
I said, disappointing you as a husband. That was mine.
You said failing our marriage.
Failing our marriage, I'm saying. Yes, failing our marriage. And then I elaborated into disappointing her and not living up.
So to that, I brought this same concept to him of what was said in the interview, and we discussed it. And the reason that I brought this topic to him for Blended Monday is because he received a lot of backlash, specifically from men in the Black community. I did a little digging, some research, and at first I was thinking, how could anybody have an issue with this man's view of a fear of losing his wife?
Right.
And then we kind of, as me and my husband started breaking it down, we kind of went beyond what Russell said, but to more of this concept that women have of this idea of a man and measuring their men to Russell.
Right. So initially when she asked me the question, and then she was telling me how men were upset of what he said about, she had just told me just the losing Ciara, like was his greatest fear. He said losing Ciara. When I initially heard it, I'm like, okay, well, nothing is wrong with that. But then when she said men had an issue, and I started to think, as a man, I can kind of see why some men may have an issue if I only heard just that part, just losing Ciara.
Yeah.
And my take on it, just from a man's standpoint, is, especially with Russell Wilson, I'm just using him, but any man, even in our relationships, it's been time over the years where their friends, compare or try to, I don't know, kind of give like a big up or use me as like an inspiration of what they think their man should kind of live up to or say.
And ladies.
Oh, yeah. And I'm just going to be honest, and I had conversations with Jazz about this to let her friends know they have to quit doing that only because I get the reason why they're doing it, because they want their man to try to do better.
Qualities.
Right, and have certain qualities and be involved in different ways. And showing them, hey, here's another guy that's cool that y'all can hang with that are already doing these things. So I get the reasoning behind it. But you got to be mindful that when you start comparing a man to another man, that doesn't feel good to a man. I don't care who it is. I even take it back a little bit further. When me and Jazz got together and we got our own place and all that stuff, a lot of the time she kept comparing and wanting to call her dad.
I knew
my dad, I didn't know, because that's a true thing. I have to go off of what I have felt too as well. Yeah. So she used to compare her dad. You know, now her dad is not a threat. You know, but to her, he was everything. So, and granted, he has a lot of values and a lot of great qualities, and I'm definitely very blessed and thankful that I had him in my life and that I had an opportunity to build a bond in a relationship and actually learn from him too as well. But to the point, it didn't feel good when she was saying that, because it's almost like when you start comparing, you know, a man, or anybody probably would feel this way if you really think about it, it's almost like you're downplaying the person, right? I felt like she's saying, my dad is here and he does this, and you ain't doing that. So therefore, to me, she didn't say this, but to me, it made me seem like, well, you're down here. Like you're not worthy, you're less than. And don't no man want to feel like they less than at all, you know.
So you think that that's what men are doing in comparison to this is where the hate is stemming from? That's what
correct. No, so when a woman, so Russell Wilson has became kind of like the poster child man in regards to what a standard is for some women that a man should be like. You know, they was comparing, well, she got a real man now compared to her future, or whatever the case may be. Yeah. So they use him, you know, in such a way to kind of like, as like a measuring stick, I guess you would say, for men to live up to, right? Okay. You kind of like measure me up to what this guy does. And of course, as men, that doesn't feel good, especially when you may not be in the place mentally of wanting to get there, or you may don't know how to get there, or you're just kind of wrestling with yourself, or you may just don't really care about being that type of guy.
You don't see the value in
there you go. Yeah. You don't really see the value in being that type of guy.
And I think that was what was so concerning for me when I was really seeing that men were coming at him like this. Right. Especially, you know, a lot of women were upset saying that black men really have an issue normalizing loving a black woman in this way. Like, how can you think that this is wrong, that he has a fear? Should it not be the standard and the foundation of us as a community that we have strong marital and family ties? Like, why don't we value that?
Right, and we should value it. And the sad part is the fact that it's not really the standard to our community, or it's not really being pushed as a standard, as far as in having a family, building a family, and really loving your wife, your spouse, your children, and being proud of it. But I think it also goes back to, like, when you think about stuff that's not the standard and somebody trying to glorify it, it's almost like how women, and I'm speaking to blended families, when you have a man that steps up and really be a dad, that's involved in the kid's life, that's doing what he's supposed to do, some women will look at that and be like, well, what do you get kudos for being what you should be anyway? That should be the standard. You should be involved. But of course, you know that it's a lot of men out there that are not involved. So of course, to a man, you almost look at it as like, well, how
you gonna downplay my?
How you gonna down? So it goes to the same point of with Russell Wilson. It's like, why women are looking at it, or people are looking at it as, even some men are looking at it, we look at it as, this should be the standard. But I think when you hype it up or glorify it, it's now like, okay, you doing too much. You kind of, man kind of felt like, okay, I get he's a good guy, he's all this, but when you gotta keep bringing it up, or I want a man like Russell Wilson and all this type of stuff, I think when you kind of use him as the person and not really the qualities of who he is where the problem come in. I think if you talk to the point of the qualities of saying
that a man like
this will have, Russell Wilson or not, because there's other men that have the same qualities as Russell Wilson. That's not Russell Wilson. But I get, women may sometimes not have that as a representation. They may not know a man in their life that they can, measure that too.
Not measure.
Or use as an example for it. So I get, public wise, we're using him for that, but you gotta understand, for men, no man wants to be compared to another man. Now you can tell me, hey babes, I think that you should maybe do some, like, take the qualities of the man. That was
actually going to be my next question. So when I see somebody, so for instance, in our marriage, right, Trey is very handy.
Yeah.
He's very hands-on with me, supportive.
Right.
So like, it's not too much that I'm going to do that he's not going to be willing to be involved in.
Right.
Which, unbeknownst to me, probably not unbeknownst to him, but unbeknownst to me, I didn't know that this was a thing. Like, that people had these areas where it was like, dang, how do I get him to support me like that? And I'm thinking,
right.
Why doesn't he? Like, why wouldn't he?
And
so to that point, I'm wondering, like, what is the right way to do that? Because I don't think it's anything wrong with what the women want. I think it's obviously the way they're going about it that is causing rift in their relationship. So it's not that you shouldn't be able to communicate it, but how we're doing it. How can we do that better?
I think just more so, first off, you got to know your man. You got to know what ticks him off. You got to, because women, y'all know how to piss your man off. You know what little things that irk his nerve. You know how to really get under. How to get under his skin. So you got to be mindful of how you may come at a man. I think a lot of the times when you try to come from a place of love and support and helping your man just to become better, saying like, babes, I know you have these things inside of you. You can do it. Why don't we try to do it? And take some of the qualities that you like. So let's say if you want your man to be a little bit more, I know Jazz keep telling me this, to be more voiceful with like public, I ain't gonna say public affection, but more so like posting things on social media. One, I'm just not really into social media, so I don't really post too much.
I don't know why he thinks this is a thing that I have. I have used it in example. No, I really feel...
So that doesn't bother you?
No, if you were on social media not posting about me, especially as much as I post about him, it's really, for me, it's reciprocity.
Oh, okay.
So I just like to post about you a lot because of my life.
Okay. Well, maybe I'm going off for old time. Because
No. I think this is something else. It has been something that has been said because I do feel like,
and I
like PDA.
Right.
And I'm not talking about just posting. I like
when we're out,
my man to hold my hand, grab my butt, give me a kiss.
Right.
I enjoy that. That's just, I like
to be into each other. When you out with people to still show that love connection.
Correct. I don't feel like that's something that I necessarily only want to be a private display.
Correct.
And
I agree.
I don't think nothing's wrong with that. And for me, I feel comfortable communicating that to him. So I do see where you're getting the two confused. But you're not on social media. And when you do go on social media, you do.
Well, I'm trying to
okay, well, use it as an example anyway. Use it.
Okay, so let's say we just use that example. I end up thinking to myself, okay, what can I do? No, I know one that it was. It's not a problem now, but I'm just going to go back in the past. One thing that she had was she wanted me to check in on her more throughout the day. And I know before when I used to just work and I'm just working, when I get off of work or if I'm on a lunch break, I may call or whatever case. But I didn't really, at the time, really see any I ain't gonna say importance. I didn't see the need. I didn't really see the value. It's like we're together. I see you. We were just together. Like, why do I need to call and check up on you throughout the day and all this type of stuff? And it took a while before I just had to more so compromise and just say, you know what? It's the couple minutes, 5-10 minutes, whatever it is, the conversation of me giving her a call throughout the day. Does that bother me more than it would be good to her, for her, to actually receive such? Like, which is like, is the risk or the consequence for me greater than the reward that she would feel when I actually do so? And I realized the 10 minutes doesn't bother me.
Another thing, Trey is really good at asking me probing questions. Like, he's always going to ask, like, okay, so what does that do for you? What do you need? And I used to get really irritated about it because I felt like, dude, I'm just asking you to place a phone call during the day. I feel like I'm harassing you versus Like, you need to know when I made it from point A to point B. I need to feel like you're concerned about it. Like, and the thing was, it wasn't that he wasn't concerned. It was just that he got so caught up.
Right, you just doing your regular day-to-day stuff.
In his day-to-day. But to me, it felt, so what I had to learn to communicate to him was, when you check up on me, it makes me feel like, oh my God, he's worried about me. He wants to make sure I'm okay. It feels like I get to carry you along with me in my day because you're so involved in what's going on. And for me, that builds up the friendship. That builds up the connection. Right. So what I had
and it builds up other things too, fellas, that's beneficial to you.
What?
That we all like.
Sex.
And want more sex. So
yeah, you know I'm right.
So tuning in to your wife.
I'm gonna hit your line.
So tuning into your wife, and that's really the biggest thing that I say when it comes to relationship. We may be getting off topic, but that's another big thing for me. Why I didn't mind the public affection. I didn't mind being hands on and being involved because I feel like this marriage, this relationship is I'm just as responsible in the relationship as she is, and I hold myself just as accountable. So I can't expect for me to say, well, she got to do this and this is her role and that's all she does if I'm not willing to pitch in and do it as well. So it's not nothing that she would do or can do that I can't do or I haven't done neither as well. Whether it's cooking, cleaning up the house, getting the kids together, being a stay-at-home dad for a few years. Yep. I've done it all. And to me, I feel like just as a leader of your family, because that's who we're supposed to be as leaders of the family, and being a father and being a good role model and being a good partner in the relationship, you got to be willing to wear all hats. You got to be willing to get involved wherever the need says, that needs to be.
Absolutely.
If she's working or she's doing this, then the house ain't clean or things ain't done, then hey man, you pitch in. You don't just sit around or just kind of put the burden all on her.
But I think as women, we have to be mindful that many men don't have that example.
Correct. Or even don't even have that desire because they haven't been taught or shown that.
And that's what I was about to say. Like, in our community, we know it is not a secret that at a significant rate, we're being raised in single parent homes.
Right.
And if that is a woman, y'all got sons, ladies. If some of y'all have been a single mom before,
right,
you know how you cater to your son. It's not like many of us are teaching our children this diverse realm of tasks that they need to do in the house.
Yeah.
Like, and that's something that we're really intentional in doing. Like,
with our kids, right.
All the kids cook.
Right.
All the kids clean. All the kids, we do still have some tasks that are like, okay, the boys need to take out the trash and things like that.
Right.
Like,
but the girls can if they, if need be. But they, I mean, if it's a man in the house or a boy in the house, then I definitely think that he should be the one taking out the trash. And that even goes to women that have single kids too, as with single boys. A single parent and that has a son in the house, he needs to be doing that. If he's 7, 8 years old,
I would say women usually have them to do that task. But I think beyond that, what happens is these boys grow up, they become men, and then they get with women, and they're looking for that same level of care and catering that their mother.
But see, that's different. That's what I'm saying. So but that's part of giving the responsibility to the son. You gotta let him have that responsibility to be able to do the dishes, to be able to cook. I think at the end of the day, and I feel like we're really getting off topic, but I think at the end of the day, it's definitely about, raising your kids to be independent and not independent in the sense that they don't need anybody, but independent in the sense that they can take care of themselves as an adult, regardless of what it is, whether it's keeping a house clean, whether it's feeding themselves, whether it's, paying bills, whether it's, decorating in or whatever it may be, putting goals together. They should be self-sufficient.
And so to get us back on task, I really would like to see us grow as a community in terms of what we set as the standard for men in their role of leadership. I mean, I think it's a beautiful thing that not only would this man say that? Does he display that in a public sense?
Right.
But that he's very proud of it, and it's something that I don't think he wears it like as a
I don't think he thinks he's above anything.
Yeah, I feel it's just genuine to him.
Right.
And that's the thing when people do this. And again, going back to our relationship, it literally villainizes the man. We have had men that have had a problem with Trey, don't want to be around us as a couple based on you glorifying this man and saying, well, he does this and he does. That is not your man.
Right.
That is not something that you have set in place. We've worked for years to get to the level of communication, teamwork.
Right.
Because I built overnight.
I admit, I was not always this man. No. I was not always the
And I had to really communicate to him, like, babe, this is what I need from you. And thankfully, he loved me enough to meet me. Just like things that I do that he does not care for. Or, I'm going to need you to do a little more with this, Jazz.
Yeah.
I need you to step it up. I love him enough to meet him in the middle. I love him enough to appreciate the man that he is. And to cultivate and help to support and encourage this man that not only I want him to be, but that I know that he himself wants to be. So I think we get to pushing people, women. If some of the things that we do to men were done to us,
you wouldn't be.
You're not going to be able to show me no woman. You see how she over there doing this for her man, and
you
she
see
doing
how she looks. She exercising, got her body on, snatched up.
Let him come to me and tell me that I need to be more fit because she.
Yeah,
that's what we ain't finna do.
That ain't gonna go well.
So we have to have that same mindset. He's still a person.
Right.
So we don't want to.
Right. Like I say, it's more so about the qualities. Understanding or realizing really what the qualities that a person that you may find as inspirational for your marriage. But don't always look at
a collective approach.
That's what I'm about to say. But don't always look at just what the man is doing. Look at also what the woman is to the man that's doing that too as well.
Exactly.
You gotta also recognize.
You think Russell wants to love a woman who's unappreciative,
right?
complaining?
You think he would do the same thing with a woman that probably didn't have the same type of qualities as Ciara? She was running around thotting and bopping, not really caring about being a mother, being a good wife, communicating, having fun, all the things that they clearly share, especially when they do their interviews that they talk about how their relationship is. You can see it on both fronts. So we can't just always look at fixing the other person without actually looking on how we can fix ourselves too as well.
Yes, that's a word, man. That was a word.
Word. That was a word. But back to the men though. I don't know why. No, I kind of do know why, because I used to have the same perception too as well. I'm going to be honest. Men that are about family, men that are seem to be so in love, that love their wife, they love their family and kids and seem to be proud of it. I'm not gonna lie, when I grew up, I looked at that dude as a square. I looked at that dude as somebody who's cornball,
what they call
lame,
Russell,
whatever,
simp.
Right. I'm gonna be honest, because when you got to think about what type of lifestyle somebody is living to as well. If you got a man, or you're a man that's running around hanging in the streets, trying to be cool, trying to be popular, doing all the illegal stuff that we do, that I have done when I was younger too as well. Those things doesn't apply. It doesn't apply to the lifestyle.
Those men in the streets aren't husbands.
Right.
Let's just be serious.
In that lifestyle, you can't show love and sensitivity and that, because people can use that to their advantage against you. If somebody knows that you love your wife so much, but you out here running around trying to do whatever, somebody can use that against you, in a negative way, to where they have an upper hand over you. And we've seen movies and stuff like that where you see somebody do something, and what they usually do, go after the family. Go get his wife, go get his mother, find the person that's next to him. I don't got to do nothing to him, but let me actually go to somebody that he actually loves. So I get it. That mindset, when you're in that type of lifestyle, it doesn't really coincide. So women, you got to be mindful, as well as men, what type of man you dealing with and what type of lifestyle he's living.
And I think I personally would like to see Ciara talk to that a little more. Not necessarily to downplay Future per se, but just the men.
The lifestyle.
That she was connected to previously. 50 Cent.
Right.
Bow Wow.
Right.
These types of men. What happened in your mindset?
Correct.
To change, to go after better?
Right. To go after better, but also to go for a different caliber of man.
Yeah.
I think
maybe not better. Better isn't the word, because everybody is growing at a pace relative to.
I would say a different caliber of man. Just what a man is into, what a man, put his energy in, what a man, focus his time into. If he ain't the guy that's running around in the streets trying to hang with the homies, running to the strip club, drinking and all that, but he's a man that you clearly see or know that prays, that goes to church, that works out, that's into like reading, trying to get, more intellectual, starting businesses, looking into investments, men of other types of quality, then when you got to think it's two different types of people that you're really dealing with. You got a man that's a rapper, or somebody's in the streets doing whatever the case is. Hanging with, like I say, hanging with his friends, partying and doing all that stuff, hanging with a whole bunch of single guys that are going around having sex with multiple women or doing whatever the case is. Then you got to understand that man, he's probably not going to live up to what it is that you want him to do, especially not right at the beginning.
Yeah.
It's going to be a struggle.
And that was the thing, that, the stuff that Trey has described and that he has been through are things that we experienced when he was 18 years old. So our life, several years ago. And even early on in our relationship,
early 20, it took me a while, even with the party and stuff, well into our marriage. I would say probably maybe 30, 29.
No, not 30. You're only 36.
No. I'm saying when I actually stopped, like, wanting to even really feel the urge of partying and doing that. Yeah. Like, I would say even to my 30, I just thought, like, well, shoot, I'm young. I want to party. You knew what it was when we met. You knew how we like to hang out, and I like to be around friends. Like, why are you trying to change me now? That's the way I felt. But, of course, as a man get older and a man goes through more experiences in life, you start to mature. And I felt myself more maturing, but also what helped me mature was the other type of men I started hanging around. Like I say, her dad, his friends. So I started recognizing that, okay, you can actually be a man that's about family, that's about love, that's about your wife, that's about all these things that I thought was corny.
What I hate is that we don't have enough peer examples. Because you give examples, everybody doesn't have access to an older guy.
But that's the reason why, and I'm starting up a men's group too as well, ladies. I haven't got the name and all that stuff yet, but that is something. But that's the point, that men
need camaraderie.
Men, we need to start being more voiceful. We need to start putting stuff out in the public. We need to be out there supporting each other.
Y'all need to be an example.
We need to be more of an example to show other men. Because like she's saying, I mean, a lot of guys growing up, a lot of people, even for myself, if it wasn't for really her and her family, I didn't have that example. Not firsthand, not, close up. Not saying that my dad was not a family man. I just think more so I didn't see him hang around a lot of different friends. I didn't see him really hang out with his friends.
He didn't see the brotherhood.
Right. So it was almost like okay, you have to stop. And I'm pretty sure women have heard of this when men say, well, I don't want to get married because I feel like I'm going to be locked down, right?
Yeah.
The reason what they're thinking of is I won't be able to do the manly stuff that I used to do. I won't be able to hang around my friends like I used to. I'm not going to be able to do the fun,
they see
manly
the loss.
Stuff.
They see, like, correct. Getting married takes me away from all these other great things that I was a part of.
Right.
And that was something that we both were very, that we communicated about when we got married, that we both wanted to maintain our individuality.
Right.
Yeah, we still wanted to have that component of, I still got friends, I go on girls' trips, I do these different things. But I think as we have matured, we see the benefit of having that time together and building
finding the balance. Yeah, I think that's really what it is. It's really finding the balance and really prioritizing what's really more important to you in your life. If you're this goes to men, if you're in a relationship and you chose to be with this woman, and if you took it to the next level of getting engaged and getting married, then what you're telling her and what you're saying to her is that you are prioritizing your marriage and prioritizing her over anything else in life. Just understand that. So if you didn't think of that, and if you didn't know that, man, that's exactly what you're saying. You're basically saying you now become number one. Because that's what it should be when you actually get married. Your wife, your marriage becomes number one over everything. So when it comes to making sure that you invest in time, that you're putting your energy into, you have to make sure that your marriage, your wife becomes number one. So that's the reason why I always had to relate back to that when at times where I felt like we was kind of having our riff and I wanted to do my own thing and stuff like that. I had to really recognize like, okay, you said you wanted to be married. You got married to her, did the whole wedding, got down on the knee, went, signed, did all this paperwork. I did all this, put all this time, effort, money all into it. Why now are you not really living up to what you said that you wanted? And like I say, when you get married, fellas, you're saying that your woman now becomes number one in your life. So everything else, if she's not happy, if you're not investing enough time and you're having issues inside your marriage, then you got to recognize everything else got to stop. I got to get in tuned in now. I got to figure out what's going on. If we ain't on the same page, we ain't happy, I'm cussing you out and don't want to be around you, you cussing me out, don't want to be around me, everything else got to stop for a second. Everything else got to come secondhand. Now we got to figure out how we get back on track. So for men, I definitely think that we just got to recognize where we are in our life and what we really want and what's important. You know, a man like Russell Wilson, or a man that speaks out and be proud about his marriage and be proud about his woman and saying that he, you know, his biggest fear in life is losing her because he understands the value of who she is and who he made her in his life. This is what he did. You know, you can't marry a woman and get with a woman and all of a sudden just saying she ain't important. Then why'd you marry her? Why did you go down and do all that if you wasn't trying to make this woman your priority, making her to be everything that you want her to be? You know, so we just got to be mindful, fellas, when we take these commitments or move forward with stuff, what that really is saying to the woman. Yeah. Because that's what she's thinking in the back of her mind. Well, hey, you supposed to be checking on me. I'm supposed to be your everything now. And that's the way it's supposed to be. But we just gotta, you know, as a community, as a collective, it's time to elevate. We gotta elevate. We do. We gotta get back to family values, and family being it's priority. Elevation time. Not having kids, not saying I want a kid, I want a baby, or whatever. No, having a family. That should be the goal. Meaning, husband and wife, 2 parents, whatever, and then building your own kids from that. And building up your actual family or community, and then being able to help your friends and other people. Yeah, that's teaching, modeling by example. 100% agree. Yeah. It's time to level up. It is. Pun intended, Ciara. But we got to do better. So we thank you guys so much for being a part of this video. Leave us some comments. Let us know your thoughts so we on target. Yeah, I definitely. The mark. And if it's something that you want us to elaborate on, we are definitely doing the Facebook Live Q&A in regards to this topic. So if you got some things, fellas, please chime in. Understand, anybody that knows me, anytime I talk to somebody, I'm a man's man. I support our roots. He ain't here to tell women how they men need to be. I'm not. It's other men out there. It's other outlets. You got my wife here. Me personally, I feel like women got enough outlets for support. I really do. Facts. I feel like men, we kind of lack. You know, and I'm not talking about just on specific things. I'm talking about having a support system for overall quality of life for a man. Whether it's marriage, whether it's relationship, whether it's fatherhood, whether it's how do you conduct yourself dealing with other men, how do you meet other men, career-wise, entrepreneur. I just feel like overall your spiritual, your health and wellness, everything. Yeah. I think there's not many outlets out there that help men just learn, you know, hear other experiences. And it's not going to be just on me because I only have my experiences that I can really share and go off of. I can give you different perspectives, but I also want other men to be involved and kind of share their experiences and their, you know, perspectives too as well. So, man, look out. Everybody be tuned. I'm going to let you know. So this is our first video. Let us know how we did. We are, just drop us some feedback. Share it, support it, like it, subscribe. And man, be proud to love your wife. I don't care what another man think. I mean, I don't even understand why men think of how another man may view them as a simp or whatever the case. Who cares? Like I'm my own man. I beat to my own drum. You know, I got married. I'm in a family. That's what it is. I love my wife.
I love a confident man.
You got to be confident, fellas. Period. And you got to be confident in the thing that you created. And that
this is his family.
Right. This is my family that I created.
He's running our show. Right.
So if I ain't proud of what I got and something that I made.
Something is wrong.
Something is wrong, fellas. You got to check yourself. But no.
So, all right, y'all. Well, that's it. Real. Peace, y'all.
Peace. Till next time.